So how many of you guys, Anna and Barb, I know you guys do, how many of you guys, John and Dina, do you guys go to Gary Ubaldini's Mastermind usually? Go ahead and unmute. There's enough of us, few of us that we can have a chat and really mastermind around this.
Sorry, I'm driving into the office, so
Oh.
I don't want you to get background noises. So when I get there, I'll have my laptop open.
Perfect. Thanks, Anna. How about you, John? So tell me, do you go to Gary Ubaldini's Mastermind?
No, I haven't had the chance yet.
Awesome. And Dina, tell me, do you go to Gary Ubaldini's Mastermind? I think you're muted, my dear. So Gary does a mastermind, and it happens to be next Friday, and it is at noontime on Zoom. So if you haven't been and you can get on for that, hey, Tony, I would definitely suggest that you jump into that. So that's Gary's Mastermind at noon next Friday. Gary provides us with some market information every month about supply and demand, about the months of inventory that are available on the market. And he uses the general market. He uses all of Pinellas County, all of Hillsborough County, and all of Pasco County. And we've seen some really crazy numbers, as you guys know, with inventory being really, really low. It might have even been in the 2s last month, I think, during his mastermind. And when we look at that, that is everything that's priced from 0 to $1 million or $2 million or $4 million. And when you break it down, it's almost really 100% accurate for our average price point, which in Pinellas County is somewhere in that $280,000 range. So the material that he provides to you guys monthly, and that's Friday at noon, is really accurate for a market overview. Yet, when you want to be the economist of choice and be the expert in your local market when working with a buyer, then you might want to know more localized inventory stats on an area or a price point or a particular type of property. So I'm going to show you how simple and quickly you can get this information out of our local MLS specific to what your buyer might need. And I would suggest to you that if you have the ability to meet with them in person in a conference room with a big television and your laptop hooked up, do so. If you can't, I would suggest that you do this kind of a meeting on Zoom and show them what you're doing, because the impressive part comes when they can self-discover what might be going on in a particular neighborhood, price point, or product category. So everybody knows kind of what we're trying to get out of the class today, right? We're going to try to find localized supply and demand numbers on particular areas of our market or price points or actual geographic areas, and then how to use those in listing and buyer presentations. So good? So that's where we're going to go. Okay, so I am going to screen share with you my MLS. So here we are in our standard MLS page. Let's say I have a buyer and they're looking at condominiums in the $700,000 to $800,000 price range in the beaches, somewhere in the beach. So what we know now is that it's a crazy seller's market. Would you all agree? And we think that multiple offers and the seller has the advantage, prices remain high, and the sellers are hearing that out of the news media as well as our buyers. So let's say we had either a seller or a buyer, and they were in this $700,000 to $800,000 range, wanting to be somewhere on the beaches. So you'd go to your Stellar MLS, your matrix, and you would go to search, and you would go to residential quick, and you would choose active, pending, and sold. And you would put in that price range of 700 to 800,000. You might pick condominiums. And I'm going to say the city is Asterisk Beaches, because that's going to really give me a look at all of the beaches, right? So when we scroll down here, we see that there are 299 properties that match this criteria, which is 700 to 800,000 on the beaches in our MLS area, active, pending, and sold, and condominiums. So you can see how we could narrow that to Clearwater Beach, to Indian Rocks Beach, to anything that our buyers or our sellers were interested in or where their property might be. I'm going to use this broader beaches area because I want a broader sample size to show you this exercise. So let's say here we are, 700 to 800,000. So right now, can somebody tell me what is our average inventory levels in Pinellas County? If you went to Gary's Mastermind, or if you were able to tell me what do you think the average months of inventory, supply of inventory is? Anybody go to Gary's Mastermind last month? Hey, Taylor, do you have Gary's Mastermind for Pinellas County? Can you just print that one page or look that up for me?
I think it's like 2.1 months, something like that.
2.1 months. I think, yep, I think you're right? So right now, and that's what's causing all of the pressure on our inventory. So what that means is that if we have 4,000 houses on the market for sale and we sell 2,000 each month, there's only 2 months worth of inventory available. Has everybody got that? So if there's 4,000 houses available, we sell 2,000 a month. If we sell 2,000 this month and 2,000 next month, they'd all be gone. So 2 months worth of inventory. And you can write this down if you don't already know, that a 0 to 5 months worth of inventory makes it a seller's market. That's typically not a lot of inventory. So the rule of thumb is that if we have 0 to 5 months worth of inventory on the market, that we are in a seller's market. If there's 5 to 7 months worth of inventory on the market, we're in what's considered a balanced market. And then if there is 7+ months of inventory on the market, we are in a buyer's market. And there are more buyers. So if there's 10 months worth of inventory, let's do the math again. If we're selling 2,000 a month and there's 10 months of inventory, that means there's 20,000 homes available. So if right now in our certain whatever geographical area we were looking at, if there were 20,000 homes available and only 2,000 were selling a month, there would be 10 months of inventory, meaning there's an overabundant supply of houses and buyers get to be choosy because there's lots of inventory, and sellers then are having to reduce price in order to get the buyers because there's lots of choices. In a balanced market, buyers and sellers are both on pretty equal footing. And then in a seller's market, it's like where we are now, 2 months supply of inventory, not enough supply to handle the buyers. If we, so that's where we run into that inventory problem and the multiple offer stuff that's happening. So when we talk about that, it's usually in the middle market area. So if our average price point in Pinellas County is $280,000 or $300,000, this pressure on the inventory is usually in that area. And if you had the buyer that came in or the seller that wanted to sell on the beach and they were in the $700,000 to $800,000 price range, you might want to do this homework in order to really identify what was going on in that particular market before you either took your buyer out and suggested how he might make an offer, or a seller and how they might price a property. So does the concept make sense to everybody? Does anybody have any questions before we move forward in the actual strategic piece of that? Okay, so here we go. We are on our MLS and we have gone active, pending, and sold. And we have chosen those categories. We have chosen the $700,000 to $800,000 price point. We've chosen the beaches of our MLS area just so that I can get a good overview of what's happening in the beaches in condominiums in this price point. So everybody see that? So yeah.
I have never done that this way that you're doing it with the star beaches.
Mhm.
I've always typed in the zip codes and just done a quick drawn out a map. So
Yep.
how that works to do star beaches?
Yeah. So what that does is what the star will give you anything. It has to be or star beach. Let me see if it changes when I say star beach. Let's see. And you really you would probably go your route star beach.
What does star mean?
So star, it gives you the missing category. Hold on. Oh, why doesn't it want to take that? Okay, there we go. Oh, C52. So you do want to use beaches. So see the question mark here? It says, type the name of the item you wish to search in the provided field. Use a comma to separate individual parameters, such as the name of two cities, zip codes, any of that, right? If the full name is not known or the spelling is unclear, use the asterisk as a wildcard to replace the missing information. So using the asterisk in this area, and again, this is just going to give me, for this exercise, a look at a broad number on the beach, which is what I'm looking for. Oh. So,
Well, are you supposed to put that under beaches, under city?
yeah, because it's the name of the city is Indian Rocks Beach.
Oh, so you're covering all
Clearwater
the beaches.
Beach.
You're covering all the beaches. Got it.
All right, so I just wanted to know in general. And again, here we can say Clearwater Beach. And somebody that's interested in Clearwater Beach might also be interested in Sand Key Beach.
Okay, but putting the asterisk actually captures those as well.
Yes.
But then under the county, do you have to put, you're looking only under Pinellas County beaches?
Well, it depends if that's what you were looking for. Yes, Michael. Otherwise, it's going to give you all the beaches that are in our MLS area.
Got it.
Let's go.
Sandy, I don't want to overanalyze this, but it won't include like Reddington Shores, correct?
Probably not.
Okay, just making sure. No biggie.
Probably
I'm
not.
excited about this new easy peasy way to
Asterisk.
Okay.
It's funny that it still says $2.99. Right, I'm going to start over because I think that I confused my system by typing in too many things because it kept staying $2.99. So search, residential, quick, and we're going to say active, pending, sold. We're going to say between 700 and 800,000. And we're going to say condominiums. And still says $2.99. How funny is that? So here we are. We've got, oh, see, it did. So it's still got my beaches in there for some reason. So it's saying all of the beaches. See, Sarasota, Reddington, Madeira, St. Pete. So let me go back and see if I can get that out of there because, all right. But did you see, Barb, how it picked up all the beaches? Pending, sold, 700 to 800. We're going to get this piece down well. Condominium. Clearwater Beach. See, there's only 12 on Clearwater Beach, and that's a pretty small sample size. So let me see if I can add Sand Key. This looks different to me.
Sand Key should fall within Clearwater Beach, so you should have that automatic.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, because it's 33767, I think. Whenever I'm looking at listings, they always say Clearwater Beach. But
But is the MLS based on keywords or by zip code?
So we're up to 24 matches. The other way to do that, and we're going to do it by a map really quick because I want the bigger area. So you can also go in and do by map.
yeah, I use the map a lot because so many of my clients don't want to have to go through the roundabout. They'll look on Sand Key, but they won't go past they don't want to have to deal with Clearwater Beach proper, so I have to map it out a lot of times.
So if you were mapping it out and you were going to map it out and do this kind of a thing. Hey, and pardon my drawing skills.
Yeah, and you also have to be careful because some of the 33708 is mainland. It's not on the beach, unfortunately. They didn't keep their zip code on a barrier.
So we have 46 matches in that $700,000 to $800,000 price point that are active, pending, or sold. Notice this is past 6 months, and you want to leave that with the past 6 months because in any 30-day given period of time, something crazy could have happened like COVID and there would have been less sales. So we don't want to gyp ourselves. So you want to leave that at least 6 months, right? So here we've got condominiums in the beach area of Pinellas County where we circled 700,000 to 800,000 active, pending, and sold. And we are going to ask for the results. Then we are going to select all. And then we are going to go right here to a quick CMA. And you end up with this report. We're going to scroll down. So if you look at this, this is the active, ACT is the active listings within this group. And we notice that there are 13 active listings. And I'm going to go back here. Can y'all see my whiteboard? Yeah. So there are 13 active listings. And there are 10 pending. So see, P-E-N-D is penned. When we find the group of those, there are 10 pendings. And pendings are actually still active because they have not actually closed. So we actually count those as active. And we scroll down and we see that there are 23 have sold. Now that sold, remember, is in the past 6 months, right? So we're going to take 23 sold. So if 23 have sold in the past 6 months, how many have sold each month? 23 divided by 6.
3.8.
3.8. Thank you, Barb. So 3.8 per month. And if we have 23 that are actually available, these are pending, but they're not closed. So there's 23 that are available, and we have 3.8 months, 3.8 are selling a month. We take the 23 divided by the 3.8, and we get 6.05 months of inventory. Now, does everybody see what just happened?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So condos in the $600,000 to $700,000 price range, are we in a seller's market, a balanced market, or a buyer's market?
It's a balanced market.
It's a balanced market. What do our people think is happening?
Sellers.
Yeah. So when we get out to the listing appointment, what do they think? High price, man. I'm getting my price, high price. Yeah, let's overprice because it's a seller's market. Well, don't you need to be on big screen showing them this map? I mean, you're doing this right in front of them, just as I'm doing it for you, so that they can get a really clear picture of what's happening in the price point within their particular area. So I also say, let's say, Mr. Seller, this means that there are 4 qualified buyers walking around this month, 30 days. We have 30 full days in this month, and there's only 4 people that are ready to buy. What does that mean? Of this 23, you better be in the top 4 if you think you're getting one of those buyers in the first 30 days. Right?
Like that.
And you say that. You say to the seller, now, Mr. Seller, if there are 4 people that are going to knock on your door this month that have a pre-qual letter, how are we going to be sure we capture them since they have 23 choices? Powerful stuff, right? So you know your market and you know your inventory and you know what's going on, and it can make such a difference. This is also great ammunition for a buyer, because our buyers scared right now because they think, oh my God, I'm going to overpay. There's no inventory. It's a seller's market. I don't want to go buy right now. So buyers are scared. What if you had a buyer that was in the $600,000 price point, wanted to live on, or $700,000 to $800,000 price point, wanted to live on the beach? Could you show him this and ease his fears and let him know that he's got opportunity out there? How cool is that, right? So let's do another exercise with this. Anybody have questions about that?
Good stuff.
Yeah, right? It's my fave. I love being armed with good information, right? Meaty information about, and they really are impressed because you're showing them and helping them. This buyer is pleased to know that he's only one of 4, and there are literally 13 that are active, and that he gets to go choose. He feels so much better. He does not feel pressured by the seller, and he feels, he's got some opportunity here. And so this buyer is really happy. This seller has just had a bit of a rude awakening. If they need to be out in 30 days, you better either be at the bottom of that price point or you better have the best amenities. Right. So let's take and dive into this price point a minute. So if we go back to criteria, we go up here, and I'm going to change this for the high C's to take out this check mark, and I'm going to put 700,000 to 750,000. So in that price point, oh, I missed how many there were. Let's go back. There are 26. We're going to check on those results. We're going to go to the top and we're going to click all. And we're going to go here and we're going to do a quick CMA. Now we're going to do the math on that. Somebody tell me what am I doing first here to get my math?
You're going to figure out your active listings first, which is 7.
So 7 active.
Then you're going to go after your pending.
I got 4 pending, Michael.
You got 4 pending.
Next.
And then you're going to list your sold.
I got 15 sold.
Can't say 15.
And since that's over a 6-month period, we're going to divide by 6.
So 15 divided by 6 comes out to 2.5.
So there are 2.5 buyers every 30 days in that price point in this market area. And so we're going to go back and we're going to change the criteria. And we're going to go up here and we're going to uncheck my box with the zeros, and I'm going to put in 751, 1, 2, 3 to 800. Okay, so you see what I've done? I've divided the $100,000 price point into two boxes now. 700 to 750 and 751 to 8.
So
Now I'm going to look.
Sandy, what was the difference between the first criteria, 700 to 800 in thousands, and then by you writing it out?
Well, let's look, Michael, because what I did was this numbers is 700 to 750. Now I'm going to do 751. Sorry, that was why I did it with the thousands. I wanted to get the 1 in there because you don't want somebody that's priced in 750 would show up in both boxes.
Yeah, no, not this one, not the one with the 751. The first one that we did for 7 to 800, and then we just added the zeros by clicking that feature versus writing it out.
Because you can only do even numbers when you do the zeros. I can't do 751 and 3 zeros.
Right, but I'm not talking.
So no, I'm sorry, because you actually are missing. Okay, look, you want to be real technical.
So I'm not talking about the one though. I'm talking about the first one you did for the 700. And
so let me finish this exercise, Michael, before we go backwards. All right. So there are 20 matches in this price group. So let's select them all. Go down and do the quick CMA. And here we have 6 active. And we have 6 pending. And we have 8 sold in the last 6 months. So 8 sold in the last 6 months.
1.33.
So 1.33. So now if you're talking to a seller and he's on the fence whether to go 750, 725, or 775, 800, would you do this math and ask him, in this higher price point in that bracket, there's only 1.3 people running around, and in this price point, there's 2.5. And in some instances, you may find that there is less active inventory in this price point and more in this price point. So would he be in a better position with more buyers and less inventory? Right?
Yeah.
So again, it's this self-discovery. So you've got this seller, you know, and he's asking about where should he price his property. Could you do some of this math with them so that they can self-discover that they might be better off under 750 than above 750?
Gotcha.
It's beautiful stuff.
Powerful.
Yeah. Does anybody have a price point or an area or something that they would like me to do the work in now as an example? Anybody working on something that they're have an interest in?
How about
Go ahead. Go ahead.
33704.
33704. So we want to figure out what's happening in that particular zip code. So we're going to go residential quick. And we're going to go active, pending, and sold. And we are going to look at the zip code of 33704. Is that what you said?
Yes.
All right. So that is a St. Pete zip code. Yep. St. Pete Euclid area. Oh, so it actually added in 337 because is that a similar, do they border up on each other? No?
No.
All right.
No.
I don't know why I did that. 33704. Ooh, let me go back. Okay, 33704. Wow, 360, is that right? Yeah, so look, this is all 33704. So there are 360 properties either active, pending, or sold in the last 6 months in that zip code. So now we're
At
gonna
what price point?
So no price point. You didn't give me a price point. Do you want me to add a price point?
Yeah, at a price point.
What price point?
550 to 750. And that's a big one, isn't it? That's too big, isn't it?
It isn't. And you want to be broad in the beginning because you're really looking at telling the market, right? So that's fine. Let's look and see how many. There are 79 matches. So we could go a little smaller. What would you go if you were going a little smaller?
I would go, let's go 550 to 700 then. Or even, yeah.
So 61 matches. So you go to results and you check them all and you run the quick CMA. And now I'm going to look for, this is again, we're looking at actives at the top of the page, run down to the bottom, and I'm finding there are 16 active. Eight pending. And 37 have sold the last 6 months. So 37 have sold the last 6 months. How many are selling each month?
6.
6.1.
Yep, 6.1.
6.2. Yeah.
And if there are technically 24 available, we would take the 24 divided by the 6.1, and that's a 3.9 or a 4 months supply of inventory. So again, if you took 6 buyers and they bought 6 properties the first month, 6 the second, 6 the third, 6 the fourth, we'd be out of inventory. You understand the term month supply of inventory. 6 people are buying, we would be done in 4 months. We only have 4 months worth of inventory because 4 times 6 is 24. 6 divided by 24 is 4. You got all that math, right? Now, we don't ever really want to talk in terms of month supply of inventory to our buyers and our sellers because that term is weird for them. We want to really say, hey, listen, there are only 24 houses and I've got 6 buyers. I could run out of inventory in 4 months, right? You want to talk those terms with them because this is our lingo and show them these, this is 6 little people, and, one property and 6 people and, bring it really to the point where you're showing that what this looks like for them. So who was asking me the questions? I can't see all of you on my screen. Was that Lisa?
That was Lisa. Yeah. Hi,
So
Sandy, yeah.
Yep. So Lisa, was that what you expected or not expected?
Yeah, I expected it to be more on the side of a seller's market. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be good information to have shared with a seller while the general market, so Gary's Mastermind, he does the general market and Taylor printed this for me and this is what you're going to get in the Mastermind on next Friday at noon. So be in it if you're not, because he does this same stuff for all of Pinellas County, which is really all you need to know to have a general conversation with someone. So in Pinellas County, in May, non-distressed properties, there was exactly a 3-month supply of inventory in non-distressed properties. And the other thing to look for, so see down here, Lisa, and this is on the solds only. This is sales price to list price ratio. So the average is about 97% of the sales price to list price. And the homes in that area, in that range of price, are on the market for between 78 and 91 days, active days and cumulative days. So now tell me, what does a buyer think if they go out to see a house and it's been on the market for 70 days, typically?
That it's overpriced.
That it's overpriced or it's a dog, right?
Right.
Something's wrong with it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you were in a buyer's consultation with the buyer in this price point for this zip code, you would show him this in advance so he didn't preconceive that before he went to see the property. Because if he's already decided it's overpriced and it's not, as a real estate agent, your job is to show him the value on a Saturday afternoon and you're backpedaling. If you've done this in the buyer consultation to say, hey, Mr. Buyer, while we look at properties in this price range in 33704, I want you to know that typically those homes are on the market a little bit more than the average. They could be on the market for as much as 78 days before they sell. So you're setting that expectation so that they don't automatically think what you just thought, in that, oh my gosh, it's overpriced, before they've even ever seen the darn thing. So the numbers are powerful in setting those expectations. Does everybody see how that works to your advantage?
Yep. Sandy, this is interesting because while you were doing this, I was quick doing my a redo on my area because the seller I represented, we put it on the market back in May. They had to take it off the market for various reasons and just put it back on. But listen to this difference with the update. Like I knew that I'd really researched the price, but right now it's even more distorted right now in this particular price point. And this is within specific zip codes on the beaches, with from 600 to 650,000. There's a 5 months of supply, you know, a low balanced market. If you go from 651 to 700, which is kind of what you were doing a minute ago, but I wanted to see it quickly on mine, 11.3 months of supply. It's a buyer's market. It's crazy different.
Crazy different.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So you're either saying to that seller, you need to either get into the other price bracket in order to get your home sold, or you better be amenities wise knock dead at this upper price bracket. And it's all letting them self-discover this, right? So you're not shoving this down their throats, because the worst part is when you're trying to tell them, well, there's 16 other houses that are better than yours out there. They don't want to hear that. But if you can show them the 16 houses that are in the price bracket that they're in, that are going to be their competition, and you've pointed out that there's only 2 of these little stick figures running around with a prequal letter, they're like, oh, shoot. Oh, yeah, got it. Right? See the difference? It's so much fun when you can have the data.
Sandy, can we do another one? I'm missing a link here, I think. So when you did the last one, the souls was 37. So we did 37 divided by 6.
Nope, it was 24.
Okay. So
no, yeah, you're right. The solds were 37.
Okay. And
divided by 6 months.
Right. They give us 6.1.
Yeah.
Okay. And then to get the month supply, we're going to do that 37 divided by 6.1, correct?
No, 24 divided by 6.1. You're going to do.
Where we got the 24 from?
Those are the ones that are active or pending.
So we took 37 and we took away 4.
Nope, we didn't take 37 at all, Queen. So here's the deal. We're going to start over. We're going to do another one for you. Everybody want to do one more?
Yep.
All right, we're going to do quick residential search, active, pending, sold. We're going to go this time. Let's go 300 to 350 with a pool and 3 bedrooms and 3 baths. I mean, 2 baths. And we're going to go all of Pinellas County. Because we got the guy that just wants a pool, 3 beds, 2 baths for his kids, and all of Pinellas County. And he only wants to spend between $300 and $350.
You want a home? Do you want a home or a condo too, though?
Oh yeah, just a single family home.
Yeah.
And maybe he has a distorted view of what that is, right? And you want to be sure. Well, let's go 250 to 300. This will give me a little less. So there are 257 of those homes in Pinellas County.
Right.
So we click all, and we do a quick CMA.
Right.
Isn't it beautiful how the system just whips this up for us? right?
Yes.
257 properties. It sorts them. It does the math. I'm like, whoo, you know, I mean, it's just awesome. Sorry, I get so excited about this stuff. So, oh, look at this is some funny, funny, funny stuff right here, kids. Look at how many there are active.
8.
8.
Mhm.
Wow.
8, guys. Do you hear what we're saying right now?
Mhm.
8 active.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
A lot pending, but we're
Yeah.
going to include them because we included them on all the other math. There's 54 pending.
Oh, okay.
Scrolling down to sold.
Wow.
195 past 6 months. How many are selling every month?
9.
32.5, right?
So 6, not 195 divided by 6.
Divided by 6. 32.5.
Yes.
32.5 little soldiers with their prequel letters have ran around and bought properties, right?
Mhm.
Here, there are 62 active, right? 62 pending and sold, pending and active together. So 62 not yet closed. Let's call them that.
Right.
So 32 are selling every month. 32 into 62, what do we got? 62 divided by 32.5.
1.9.
That's the month's supply of inventory,
Oh, okay. I get it.
right? Because Queen, I think where you missed it is, and let me,
Yeah.
so
So adding the two, the pending and the actives, and then dividing that by the 32.5, which is the
so it's the sold by month
mhm.
divided by the ones that are available, because if these,
Right.
there's 32 little people running around buying property and there's only 62 available,
Mhm.
this is where we're running into multiple offers, are we right?
Yeah.
Because there's 32 people with 62 properties.
Mhm.
And of the 62, you think, oh, 62 are in good shape.
Mhm.
These 32 people want the best of these 62. This is why there's so much competition in this arena. So because there's only 1.9 months supply of inventory.
Mhm.
But you see how we went from looking at zip codes to 2-bedroom, 3-bath with a pool. You can do this for anything. You can do this for, whatever it is. You just don't want the criteria to get so small that your universe isn't big enough for you to get a good sampling.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got it now.
Anybody else got questions?
I'm excited.
Isn't it cool? So we should, at the very least, be going to Gary's Mastermind on Friday, next Friday at noon, and getting this information, because he gives it to you already done, and he gives you a little more information about the market, so that when you're sitting having a glass of wine, well, we don't do that anymore, but when I used to sit at the bar with a glass of wine and somebody said, so you're in real estate, how's the market? And I could honestly say, because I'd been at Gary's Mastermind, well, geez, it's quite a seller's market in the average price point. There's only about 3.3 months of inventory. I sounded like a damn genius, and I didn't do any work. All I did was show up at Gary's Mastermind and pick up the report, right? Now,
Tipsy.
and honey, and he bought the wine. So whoever I was giving all this great information to was buying. I'm not, right? So it was fabulous, fabulous.
I love it.
Can you tell I missed this thing right now? I'm jonesing over it too. Can I? So anyway, so yes, but this is the information that as real estate agents we really need to know on the regular. This is the general market that Gary gives you on Friday, this next Friday at noon. And although I want you to do this math with your buyers and sellers based on what they need. This is the general market, and it might be different. So you should know before you go into the appointment what it generally looks like.
Mhm.
But when you sit down, I love doing this piece with them, because for the most part, listen, we're talking about $200, $300, $600, $1 million of their money, do you think that they'd like to have this conversation about where they're spending it?
Yeah.
This is the stock market analysis,
Mhm.
right? Do you think that they're going to give some guy $1 million to invest for them if they haven't done some sort of research and seen some stats?
Mhm.
Probably not.
No.
Why are we any different? Why do we get to just jump out and go show them a house and appear in the kitchen? Are we not the keeper of the key if that's the representative that the relationship we have with them, right? We're popping out with the key, getting in the kitchen. Hey, isn't this a pretty color?
Mhm.
Okay, that anybody can do that for $15 an hour. We need to show our value, and we need to help interpret the market for them so that they understand how to act when they're either buying or selling, because who's doing the buying and the selling?
The buyer.
They are.
Yeah.
And they need to know how to act. I know how to act, right? I get it. Yet they don't know, do I accept that offer because it's low? Do I accept, what do I stay? This will help them. If they know that there's 32 people running around, they might be able to say, you know what, we're going to hold off for another offer. There's 32 people running around in my price point right now. If there's only, in the other example that we showed, and there was only 1.3 people running around, might that seller say, I think I better take the offer. There's only 1.5 persons running around with a pre-qual letter this month. Shoot, I better grab me one, right? And you're helping them learn how to act based on what's happening in their market so that they can make good decisions. That's what we're doing. We're decision facilitating. I'm not selling somebody a house they don't want, and I'm not trying to get a seller to sell a house so that I can get a commission. I'm helping to make them the best decision making by facilitating a decision based on the data that I give them to help them to do that. Does that make sense?
And Sandy, imagine how empowered after that consultation they're going to feel.
Yes.
Like you didn't just go in and tell, you showed and explained and educated. And so now they're going to go tell that story to their friends, their family, their sphere of influence that, oh my gosh, Sandy or Barb or Michael, Queen, whoever is so knowledgeable about this market. You have to go have a conversation and sit down with them. Don't just, hey, I want to go see a house. Let's go, Pop-Tart over there. Is that the phrase
that is the Pop-Tart over there, right?
Pop-Tart over there.
Isn't it a pretty kitchen?
Yeah, isn't it
No.
beautiful? Where would you put your couch here? No, let's analyze the market so you know the market that you're buying in. And then there's no question about if this is your house, oh, well, do you think they take under asking price? Or
Right.
do you think they would do that? What do we need to do to get this house? We need to have a strong offer. Do you think we should offer over asking price? And when your clients are the ones,
making that decision, you've helped them to make that.
Yeah, you're the consultant. You're not the salesperson that's saying you need to offer more of your hard-earned money.
Yep.
And
they do. They freaking love this. It is a big decision for them. If they can feel comfortable in their soul with what they're doing with their money, because you've helped them to see what's going on and what makes sense, then they're easier on the street too. They're not, oh, am I doing the right thing? Oh my God, on Saturday, and you're like, will you please just make the offer? No, and it takes all that out, right? Michael, that really doesn't happen like that, but it does sometimes in my head.
Well, and then it goes through the entire transaction, right? Like, oh my gosh, our offer was chosen. So now when the inspection comes back and things come up, we're not going to walk away. We're going to see what we can do because we're already at this point. We don't want to go back out because the pain of negotiating.
And we know we found value.
Exactly.
We've already determined value. I'm not walking over $1,000 whatever. I saw the value when I made the offer because I knew what I was up to. So does anybody else have any questions about this whole process or how it can help with both buyers and sellers?
Exciting.
Yeah, it is, right? And I would tell you that if you can't get face-to-face with your people, you should do this via Zoom. You should have them in the living room at their house with their laptop, and you should do this math and screen share. They will just be, it's impressive. You are showing them your value, and then you're also just going to make it so much easier when you get into the field, because this sets the expectations of how they need to act, right? And the same thing at the listing appointment. If you're doing the listing appointment and you're doing this, and then you're going to pull up those, you know, if they're in the 750 to 700 to 750 range, and they know there's only 2 people running around, you're going to pull up those 7 properties next, and you're going to screen share those 7 properties, and you're going to say, let's click through these 7. Are you better or worse? If there's only 2 buyers, which 2 houses are getting picked? Here's 8 properties, yours and these 7. We have 2 buyers. So let's look at the 8 properties, and you tell me, if you had a pre-qual letter for 750, which 2 are you picking? Put your buyer hat on, Mr. Seller. And you let him look through, and he goes, oh, God, I'd pick that one. Oh, I definitely picked that one. Oh, mine's not as nice as that. So the 2 of the buyers, we need to either be in the lower price point in order to sway one of those, or we need to be all the amenities in order to get the one at 750, right? So one of the 2 things has to happen. So it's so super exciting when that all happens, and when you can see it happening in their heads, and you're like, oh, she's getting it. Yeah, it's fun.
Sandy, I work with a lot of buyers, so in this same thing with the buyers, I mean, I don't show over 10 properties, if that, but at the end of the, help them to understand, so we're not going crazy once we get out there.
Yeah, because if they know in this scenario that, and I would literally be saying, and this happened when I went to show Anna's property the other weekend. There are 32 people running around Pinellas County right now looking for the same thing you are. We need to beat them to the punch. There's only 62, and there are 32 people running around with a pre-qual letter. We really need to hurry up, and we need to be quick, and we need to be decisive, and we need to be full price, and all of this is in that decision. I showed a property. I don't normally show properties, and I showed a property for a friend of mine. It happened to be Anna's property last weekend on Friday. And there were 3 real estate agents sitting in the street waiting for me to get out. Like, it was a revolving door. They were just rolling and rolling, rolling. I was like, holy shnikes, people. So
you know what's so funny is that I had 17 showings that day, and I only had 2 offers that officially made it to my inbox. I was expecting so much more compared to and I think part of it was, and I'm looking back on it, and the sellers even asked me like what happened? Why are there only 2? And I said, I honestly don't think that the buyer's agents are educating their buyers correctly, because not only one of those buyer's agents picked up the phone and called me to say they're submitting an offer. Who are we up against? And then the next day saying, how many more do you have? I only have 1 other offer at this time. Okay. And people see, multiple offers. No one's picking up the phone and saying, hey, what's going on? But I had to put that in there because, but unless you educate and have an educated buyer's agent and client, people don't even bother. Or they're like, oh, well, we're not good enough to get it. I'm like, but you don't know. Have you looked at the market? Does your client think that there's something better out there? Where's the disconnect? I was expecting to have 5 or 6 offers or 10.
Yeah. It's so exciting when it is very skill-based, when we get to this place where we've learned these things and we understand, that there is a skill that goes along with what we do. And it is, again, not just the keeper of the key and Pop-Tarting out to go show a property, that, we have huge value in our knowledge to help our sellers and our buyers facilitate and make good decisions around what is likely the largest purchase that they'll make in their lives. So keep that in mind. You guys are super valuable. Arm yourselves with the information that you need. Go to Gary's Mastermind, and he will do this math for you for the market. And that's all I ever did for my general buyer consultations. But if I got into one where I thought it was going to be really crazy and I needed to show this either in a higher price point or a lower price point or a beach or whatever, then yeah. John, I'm super glad that you could join us today, and I'll teach this class again, and I hope we can get some more folks in, because it really is, I think, you know, this key to being a consultant and not just a keeper of the key or a Pop-Tart agent. So go be rock stars that you are. Anybody else have questions before we go? It is 12:57, 3 minutes early. All right, great.
Thank you. Good job.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
Jason,
Debbie.
go ahead.
Recorded, will I be able to link up with this later at my own time again?
Yes, it is recorded, and Taylor. So Jason, it is recorded, and I will. What is your email address?
jjtampabayrealtor@gmail.com.
Say it again.
jjtampabayrealtor@gmail.com.
Okay, I will make sure that you get it. And I know that we have a place where we are a YouTube channel where we're storing all our videos, but I don't know where that is. So I'm going to get it and make sure that it comes to your inbox, my friend. I appreciate you showing up.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
You got it.
So much
Bye,
value here. I appreciate your time for sure.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy your vacation.
Oh, yeah. Woohoo. I'm out.
Love you.